Welcome to the Industry Edge podcast, where we dive into strategies and insights from leaders shaping the world's hardest working industries. If you're passionate about making a big impact in B2B, you're in the right place. Now let's get started. Welcome to the Industry Edge podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by KNC Marketing. KNC is a full-service marketing agency that helps B2B industrial companies build their brand and increase sales through web design and a full suite of marketing services. To learn more about KNC, visit kncmarketingagency.com. Today, we're talking about family business and thriving through excellence in customer care. Joining us is Justin Larson, the owner of Family Water Treatment, a family business that has built a strong reputation for driving high-quality water treatment solutions across Middle Tennessee. So, Justin, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me, Michelle. I appreciate it.
Of course. So first, tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, my name's Justin. I am a partner owner in Family Water Treatment. We're a third generation family owned and operated business here in Middle Tennessee. We specialize in testing of water treatment equipment, installation and service of water treatment. We obviously being family owned and operated has its unique positives and I'm sure negatives as well. But yeah, we really set ourselves apart in the area because we've just been doing this for 3 generations, and it's just something that we really love. We love being able to help people get clean water and the difference that they see when that clean water arrives.
I bet. And I have so many questions about the evolution of this business because that is a really long time. So tell us about first your career and how you eventually joined the family business.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, I've been married. I'll be married into the family 20 years here in September, and my career at that point, I had my own career. I worked in vehicle manufacturing and logistics. So my background is, really nothing to do with water treatment, marketing, sales, and I'm very black and white analytical about things. And so I spent 16 years in that industry and really honestly loved what I did for about 15 years and 9 months. It's just a really stressful industry. When you're in charge of shipping out vehicles all over the world, it's really a 24/7 operation. I'd gotten a new director at one point, and work-life balance was not a thing. So we were really putting in the hours, and I just, it hit me one day that this is not what I want to be doing. I've got two daughters. And kind of a funny story. At one point early in my career, I'd come home and my oldest daughter, it was my only daughter at the time, was playing with a doll set, and she had the mom and the baby at the house, and I came home and where's daddy? And daddy at work. And I think at the time I was maybe 27, 28 years old. And well, of course, that's how you get this toy. That's how you have a roof over your head. And at that point, I think there's something to be said for putting in a lot of time and effort to advance your career. About 7 years later, my second daughter, same toy. I come home and I'm in the midst of this work-life balance just not even existing, and the same thing happened. Daddy at work, and I went, what am I doing? So I went in really the next week and put in my notice that I was leaving. Had no idea what I was going to do, but my wife had faith that we'd find something. So in the meantime, I said, I'm going to really take my time and figure out what I want to do. So during that time, let's just help the family out. So I remember, and this had happened for previous years, I'd come into the office and they were writing down this daily schedule on like a paper calendar. So no real technology. I'm pretty sure they were swiping credit cards like with the old like it's a machine. But really like no technology at all. And obviously, at that point, still a thriving business. So I introduced him to like the Google Calendar, like really advanced stuff, right? And Excel spreadsheets and things of that nature. And about 2 months in, I'd found a spot, and they were offering me a job, and I was actually going to go in and accept the position, and it was in another automotive industry supplier. So it was in the same basic industry, and that morning I went, "What am I doing? I am casting myself right back into the same situation I was in." I'd gone out, started meeting people. And I'll tell you, like, I went out with the first time I went out with my father-in-law, who was like, he's the sales guy, right? I'm like, I can't do this. This is not me. Then I realized, like, wait a minute, this is problem and solution scenario. Like, people have a problem, and they may have a list of problems, and there's a solution to that, or a list of solutions.
Mhm.
And that really broke through for me. And went, okay, I can just explain it that way, and then people have a choice. But anyway, I'd really loved like meeting new people every single day, traveling throughout Middle Tennessee. Like, there's worse things in the world to be driving back roads of Middle Tennessee, right? But yeah, so I then became in charge of marketing and sales. The guy that's this really analytical guy. Um, so that was my journey. And then about a year later, my father-in-law decided to retire, and so my brother-in-law and I took over the business at that point. So yeah, welcome to water treatment.
Yeah, I gotta figure it out.
For sure. Now, the cool thing about it though is it's not hard to be passionate about clean water.
Mhm,
Um, like, who couldn't be passionate about that if like if you set the priorities correct.
mhm,
If you're just out to sell things, okay, but if your priority is helping people and helping people become healthier,
mhm,
yeah, it's easy to be passionate about. And when you're passionate about something, like, it's 90% of the time really fun, really fun to do. There's always those days where you feel like you get kicked in the gut, but most every day I'm coming home with a smile on my face, and the whole family feels the same way about their piece of the pie of the operation as well.
That's amazing. That's such a journey and 2 totally different worlds, and I share a similar experience. What are the things you feel like makes your family-owned business unique? Obviously, 3 generations, you have many, many family members apart. Like, what do you feel like that secret sauce is for you guys?
For sure. And that's something, the experience is something that, there's other good companies out there that do water treatment, but most of them cannot replicate the experience. And
Mhm,
again, that's something even I can't replicate because, I've only been alive. I don't think I was alive when the business started. You have a reputation, and that time has gained us a certain reputation
mhm,
where we're just kind of known as we're the experts. So that's a unique advantage for sure.
mhm,
And then obviously, just everybody that's a part of the business does serve a unique role. And I think that's what our special sauce is. My brother-in-law does an amazing job at running the service installation crews. He's real technical and wants to be hands-on all the time. My sister-in-law runs the office and does an amazing job with that. And we all just really care about our customers and putting their needs obviously first, but where they need to be.
mhm. That's awesome. What do you feel like people might misunderstand about working in a family business?
Ooh, most of the time what I hear is, like, it's that might not work out well, and there's obviously many, many cases where family businesses don't work out, and the family that's within the business is constantly
Mhm,
battling. And I think it's easy to get there, but also I think if you set clear boundaries, which, like, what we've done, Like, hey, this is your area. You own this area. And it doesn't mean that we can't have suggestions, but at the end of the day, like I tell people this all the time though, hey, could I get on your schedule for whatever day? And I go, yeah, I'm not the schedule master, right? Like that's my sister-in-law. Let's get with her because I don't want to screw it up or anything like that. But that's her baby. Um, but yeah, I think the really the misconception is that it can't work or that you'll constantly be at each other's throat. We vacation together, we work together, we're constantly going out to dinner, all those things. We always really like each other, so I guess that's a good thing.
Mhm.
But it doesn't mean it's we don't have an argument. But usually, like I will say, if it's work, my brother-in-law and I are really good at this. Like it can get up to a 9 real quick,
Mhm.
but that's a work 9,
Yeah.
right? That's like I've called him 5 minutes later and be like, "What are we doing for dinner?"
People are always so surprised when they ask Danielle and I, they're like, how do you guys, make it work as a family? Because we're the same way. We live near each other, we hang out together, and it's just that work and real life separation is so important. But like you
Not
talk
everybody can
about,
do that though.
yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Maybe we're the lucky ones. I don't know.
Think so.
So you mentioned everyone has their own role, and since you've come into the business, there's been so much innovation. How have you balanced, this is the way we've always done things. Your other members of the family have their own way of doing things in their roles. How do
Yeah.
you guys manage innovation as the business has grown over the years?
Great question. And again, my previous career, one of the things I was in charge of was continuous improvement. So I'm a guy that really does like change, but you got to have the realization like you're not just changing just to change. The old adage of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But also understanding like it may not be broke, but is it running perfect? And there's no such thing as perfect, but what can we do to make things a little bit better? Now, again, back to like family dynamics and different people's dynamics. My sister-in-law is a great example of like, don't change anything, right? So we kind of got to sell things to her in a certain way. And also I also understand too, and I really love weirdly the mistakes when you are trying to advance something, but then you realize this is the wrong path
Mhm.
and quickly deciding like we're stopping that. So close that barn door. But then you can figure out, okay, was it a bad plan? Was it bad execution? Do we need to change something? And then you may take another stab at it, or you may go, yeah, this is way outside of what we need to be doing. But yeah, we've done so much in the ways of innovation, whether it be like our routing for our technicians. We've got great programs now where, again, if we were handwriting on a calendar and handing this over to a technician going, here's your 5 service calls today,
Mhm.
and they may all be in the same city, but you're bouncing back and forth, and we know the traffic here in Middle Tennessee now. Oh my goodness, like that could be your full day traveling within the same city. So being really optimized in your routing
Mhm.
has led us to be significantly more efficient.
Mhm.
We would do literally like 5, 6 visits a day on service or installation. We can do like on service side, we can do 10, 12 or
Wow.
more. Yeah. So those sort of things have been just so extremely helpful. Now those technologies now they do have a cost,
Mhm.
right? And this again is where people that are really reluctant to those changes like, well, that may cost me, let's say $500 this every month for this piece of technology that allows us to be more optimized. Certain personalities will see that just as $500 like going out the door
Mhm.
versus, well, we're bringing in so much more revenue, saving on gasoline, saving like all these things, and I can have, maybe less technicians do more work. It ends up making you money, but it's about again selling that technology or that process and making sure everybody understands that there's a full benefit to that.
I know you guys are extremely passionate about providing that excellent customer experience. And obviously, you've become more efficient with adding technologies and adding efficiencies within your business. What does it mean to provide great service for your team? Like, how does that come to life as you've gotten more innovative and more efficient in the years?
Yeah, I don't think it's been because you can definitely lose your Midas touch, and we've gone down that path too. We went through an extreme growth process, probably about a year into like my brother-in-law and I operating the business, and we were growing like crazy. This led to, more people
Mhm.
being in our business, but what we quickly realized is we were losing some of what made us us. We were becoming a sales organization versus folks that are really passionate about clean water and providing solutions to help people get clean water. So while like revenue was just going sky high, customer service was not as good.
Mhm.
The feedback and in reality, just the whole customer experience was taking a hit. So we had to make the decision at some point to say, this is not the route we want to go. We have to, contract what it is we do, go smaller. And it doesn't mean we can't grow, but we've got to grow really healthy.
Mhm.
And that may be slower growth. It's what was required. Otherwise, we would have, if we stuck around, we would have been just like everybody else.
Mhm.
There wouldn't have been that uniqueness to what it is we do and how we do it. And people just go like, "Oh, I can really tell. Like you guys are just really passionate about what you do."
That feels good.
Yeah.
So you mentioned there were challenging times as you scaled and you weren't able to deliver on your company promises in many ways. You mentioned also customer feedback. Like, what were some of those pieces of feedback along that journey from your customers that you were like, shoot, we need to change courses here, and how did that improve what you guys do?
For sure. I know for sure the biggest change was we went to a certain type of marketing, and this was part of this growth process, um, where we had a consulting company come in and they achieved what they said they were going to achieve, right? But it was much different marketing than what we were used to. And, in some ways, some of it would be on the line of maybe deceptive. It's like get your foot in the door type of marketing, and then, we'll go from there.
Mhm.
And then that marketing really relied on getting sales people, and I
Mhm.
say sales like a certain personality can go in and sell just about anything, right?
Mhm.
But how are they doing that? Are there moral standards where we really expected them to be?
Mhm.
Absolutely not. Down to service, installation, like you're just doing so much so fast that it's like, hurry up, get this done. We got to go to the next one. We got to go to the next one. We got to go to the next one, which I mean, you should be able to work through processes to get people where they are. But yeah, it was just, customer feedback would be I felt like I was misled, or, they were in and out. They didn't explain anything to me really well. The type of financing, could get really, it's just not very clear on what it is I'm buying, how much it's costing me. And again, this is other companies are still doing this, and they do it really really well. They are, again, sales organizations that put a bunch of equipment out there, but it just didn't feel right to us. Like that's not, it was again back to that no work-life balance. You're working, 14-hour days and running around fixing your own people's issues, right? The problems that they created. And yeah, the stress level super high. And I felt, but this is right back to where I was before and why I didn't want to be doing those sort of things.
Okay, you built the organization and you decided this is not for us, like the high pressure sales environment. So now obviously you have people that are not in the family or bringing employees in occasionally. What is the pressure test now, having that experience and looking back on the the personalities and the things that you went through with that, like what do you look for in an employee to make sure that like the service you're providing is genuine and authentic and true to the Family Water brand?
That's an awesome question. I know there's companies that are probably not this way anymore, at least the feedback you hear. But I remember maybe a decade ago, Northwest was really known for the type of people that they hired. It was based on, their personality, not necessarily their skill set. We can teach you that. But yeah, those stress tests are really just come down to, you know, are you passionate about this? Are
Mhm.
you passionate about providing good customer service? What type of person are you? We can teach you the skills that you need to be taught. I can't teach you to be a good person, really. I hear so many times now that our installers, our service guys, people, the feedback they give, like these guys are so great, right? We love Tate, we love Riker, we love these guys, right? And that to me is like that's cloud nine stuff, right? That's the stuff that I really feel proud about our folks when we get that feedback versus, wow, you installed 5 systems today. That's your best, not that we wouldn't say great job, like you're getting more efficient, getting better,
Mhm.
but man, the feedback we get on, they really felt like, you really took care of them. And we even make mistakes. And I remember one of our guys, he made a mistake and he essentially plumbed in the system backwards.
Mhm.
And what ends up happening when you do that is you like lose all your water pressure and it may take an hour or two. So it was down the road.
Mhm.
I think it was his last install of the day, Friday,
Oh,
and we get a
sure.
call like that night or the next morning, I forget. And I just happened to call him and say, "Hey, do you remember this?" He goes, "Send me a picture of that." And I sent him a picture. He goes, "I know what happened. I'm going out there right now." I'm like, they said it's fine. They've got it to where they got running water. You can come by Monday. He's like, I won't be able to sleep unless I go and fix this, right? And again, it's like you pass the test,
Yeah,
right?
that's a character thing. Yeah, for sure.
Right? For
Yep.
sure. And again, it's like, do we do everything right every time? No. And I always tell people when we're in a home, that's what sets us apart. You can go with you can go with another, company,
Mhm.
and you'll likely, if you got a handful of different companies that you'll probably really like your water and, feel like you made a good decision. Uh, But when something goes wrong, like where we just completely blow everybody away is that customer service. And it's because we want to do what's best for them.
That's huge. I feel like that's the easiest thing as you get busy to lose is that special touch. I
Oh
totally
yeah.
the character of the people, and you're sending people into someone's home. That's even more important in
Right.
your business. So looking at the future, what are your hopes for the business?
Great question too. I get this all the time, like, the different groups that are out there for, small businesses where they're really looking to take folks and really grow them. Which again, I think part of it may be a little bit of being shy through the issues that we've gone through extreme growth. Extreme growth is not something that we're looking to do. That continuous stair step improvement, that's efficiencies, that's customer service, that's obviously revenues and being, having more people with clean water from family water, right? But not at the cost of, our mental sanity and, work life balance and obviously customer service. So yeah, we want to get better. We want to grow, but not at some breakneck speed that you hear a lot of people and you almost sound like that has to be the answer. When I
Mhm.
get asked, what do you mean you don't want to have 400% growth? 800% growth? That
Yeah.
could it happen and could it happen well? Yeah, it could. Boy, that's going to be hard though.
Mhm. I think that's such a vulnerable and confident thing to say though that you can say like I would yes, I want to grow, but I want to do it in a way that makes sense for my family and my employees and my customers and I think a lot of business owners are afraid to say that or to feel that even.
For sure. You get caught, you get taught, it's like world domination. You got to be the the biggest and the like you need to be in, the 4 states now and 8 states and like, whoa, 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 like, do we? Do we though?
Yeah. 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 So what does success look like to you then, not just in business, but personally?
Oh, I say continuing to be, a leader, obviously in our business, or one of the leaders, within our business. Developing people, love, love, love when people within our organization um, are learning new things, getting better at new things, making more money, whatever it is that their goal is. We definitely want to help them achieve that. And I think there's something to be said at getting better at that and seeking out to improve the folks that work with us. Personally, obviously, I've got 2 daughters, like I said. I've got one here Monday that's moving out and heading off into the real world for college.
Yeah.
She'll be in another state, and that is something that scares the heck out of her mom and I. Continuing to help her and be, the best she can be, give her opportunities, but also like there's no silver platter. The best way you learn is to like burn your hand, right? And go through those struggles. Um, yeah, get better at, I think where I've probably lacked in that vulnerability is fatherhood, husband, like those have probably overall been a weakness of mine. So let's get better at those.
That's great. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Um, what's the best piece of advice as a business owner that you've ever gotten?
Ooh, that's a great one. I think the best piece of advice I've gotten is um, working to develop other people. Every individual has like a need and a feeling to succeed, and that may differ. Like what does their success look like? If you can help others, at the end of the day, their skill set is getting better, and it can just make your job easier,
Mm.
right? And you can look at other things. I can say, well, I want to be the one going out and running all of these sales appointments because man, that's my baby, right? But if I've got somebody else that can do that and probably quite honestly do it better,
Mhm.
then now I can look at, okay, what is our business weakness? It might be marketing, it might be, follow up, it might be, a number of different things. So if you're not looking to have somebody, I think the way it was explained to me is training your replacement,
Mhm.
right? If you're not constantly working to train your replacement, well, I mean, I was saying like I don't want it necessarily extreme growth, but yeah, we've grown a lot even in our scaled back phase. When you're growing, there's more to do.
Mhm.
See, if you're not developing, then you're going to be overwhelmed,
Mhm.
completely overwhelmed.
That's a hard lesson too in life and business is like you're not meant to do it all, and perhaps somebody can come in and do it better than you have ever been able to do it, which is it's hard when you're going so fast and trying to do all the things and you're like, I've got this mastered and I can do it, and everyone stay in their lanes or whatever. But that's a great, great, great piece of advice. So is there anything that I haven't asked you that would be valuable for our listeners?
Well, not that I could think of. I mean, like I said, it's a constant whirlwind. There's always opportunity for improvement. I think that's probably the theme of the day is like continuous improvement. Um, but yeah, I think we've covered a lot today.
Good. I'm so glad you've joined us. And to wrap it up, we've been talking with Justin Larson with Family Water Treatment. And Justin, tell us where we can learn more about you.
Yeah, you can go to our website. We are at familywatertn.com. There's lots of good information on our website about general water quality and ways to fix that. Generally, most people do require some face-to-face time. So you can either, call us, you can go to our website and you can book a time for us to come out. This is again is a huge difference between us and other companies. You mentioned the high pressure sales process where people that have gone through that and then allow us to come in a house. I'm always surprised that they allowed somebody else to potentially do the same because we're talking these 3 hour wear you down processes where here's your objective. Well, I've got to overcome this objective. And it's just like, dude, get out of my house, right? But we generally do find it best to set up a face-to-face where we can go over potential installation requirements and then different types of equipment that may be doing different things. It's generally like a 30-minute process. We leave you with like a price and you're on your way. You make a decision in your own time. Um, but yeah, like I said, you can go to our website, you can call us, you can come visit us. We got a brand new facility that we just moved into. So we got a little extra elbow room for, all the inventory that we have to keep and all that fun stuff.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Appreciate it, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to the Industry Edge podcast. If you like what you heard on today's episode, we'd love it if you'd leave us a review or click subscribe so you'll get updates about future episodes. We'll see you again soon.